Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon. I realized late that it was going to be one of those things where the Pats were playing today. Oops. But in any case, it'll still work out fine. I can watch the game and just enjoy, stitching while I watch the video game, and just set a timer to come back and pop over here to say hello to whoever is here. Yeah, so it's been kind of a weird week. I've got a long weekend, which is nice. I have tomorrow off for Martin Luther King Day, but my office also gives us a day of our choosing to take off during our birthday month. So I took Friday off to have a bit of a self-pampering day, and it was lovely. Got a long massage and just kind of took the day slow and did my own thing. And so I feel a little off kilter because it hasn't been like a normal schedule week. But I got a lot of stitching done, and I have a lot more planned for the next week and a half or so. Let me show you. Actually, I forgot to bring it down. I finished my Whip Go goal on Water Garden. So I got about 1,100 stitches in during the first couple of weeks. So here's where I am on Water Garden. It's moving very nicely. I fixed all the mistakes I made during our last live streams. I cannot believe I miscounted that whole darn thing. It was like, what's wrong with me? But anyway, it's all been fixed. It's all lining up now. So it'll be really, really good to move forward. Yeah. So I'm taking a little bit of a break on this since I have 2 Whip Go goals to finish during the month, and then I'll be getting back to this. Let me put that there so it's out of cat way. Stay. Today, for my other Whip Go goal, I am working on Hugs and Kisses from Blue Ribbon Designs. And this is one of my old whips. I've had this thing going now since my son was born. So it's time to get this sucker done. Here's where it currently stands. And just like the chatelaine, this one has a goal of 1,000 stitches during the month called. So pretty easy to do. I am working on this square right now, and once that one's done, I'm going to finish this square up here, and then I don't know where I'll go. I'll kind of just pick where the mood takes me from there. But between those two, I'm going to have a nice amount of my goal for the month done. So I'll kind of just roll from there. It'll be to fill one of the squares in that, I've already boxed out. So, but yeah, that's where that one is. This is on my goal to get done this month. Not this month, sorry, this year. I want this one done. And it's not going to be that hard to do it as long as I focus on it. So honestly, this is one of those ones that I may do like, probably for the Olympics. I might just do a focus on one project, and it might be this one just to get it done and have like a finish at the beginning of the year. It would feel really, really good to have that done because I don't get a lot of finishes, and I really want to have a few this year because I feel like I've got way too many projects going that if I just sat down and actually focused on a few of them, I could probably pound them out easily this year. And I'm not one of those, I need to get stuff done, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit of an itch to get finished. You know what I mean? Did anyone else have that kind of it's like, I really don't care when I have finishes, but sometimes I just need to get them done. Hello. Oh, good. Somebody's here with me. Greetings. It's like I'm talking to no one. No one's here. Good to see you. I but yeah, so I'm going to be doing, just stitching on this for the afternoon. Since the Patriots game is starting, I will be setting a timer carefully on my phone because I'm not actually physically going to sit here at my desk to stitch. I do want to watch the game, but I also was like, nah, I can keep the live stream going and do that. I just have to have some careful timers on my phone to tell me to get my butt back in the seat. So I have it. Finishes mean I can start new projects. Yes. Hello, Turtle Stitcher. Nice to see you here. This is true. I'm one of the people, though, that I like to just start things whenever I feel like doing them. And I did that last year and kind of got myself into a little bit too much trouble. Yeah. So this year, this is the year of whips for me. I'm not cutting myself off because that's dooming myself to completely screw things up. But I am cutting back on the amount of starts I have this year so that I can focus more on getting some stuff moved through. Ah, you're working on a Heaven and Earth design. Which one are you? Are you working on one of the ones for the stitch along this year, or do you have one going? Yeah. Turtle Stitcher. I'm also working on a Heaven and Earth. I'll finish in about 8 years. You'd beat me. I think I've had mine going. I think my Heaven and Earth has been going for like 10 years now, and I'm so slow on it. Although honestly, I only am like 3/4 of the way through the first page, and I'm not happy on the fabric. I think it's the fabric that's causing me the issue. I want to restart it on the gridded like 25 count because I have it on 18 count and I just don't like how it looks. So I may just reboot that one. And hello, Jokadine. How are you doing? I know it's late for you over there. So hopefully, I don't know if you're going to be stitching or if you're just going to be hanging out and doing your thing. But good to see you again. And if you're a monogamous stitcher, Jaduri, I'm jealous. I cannot be. I have like low attention span. I need to like do a few hours on one and then I'm just like, screw it. I'm done. Christmas Carol by Dean Morrissey. Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have to go check that one out. Yeah, the people that can finish like a Heaven and Earth design in a year, who are these people? Those things are intense. And I'm the one speaking from the Wensler addict, but oh God, no. not my thing. Not my thing. And Susan's here. Hello, hello. You're still working on Postmodern Cats. That is a really cute design. I like that one. That's one that I could put on my list. My ever-growing, never getting smaller list. I need like 48 hours in a day so that I can get everything done. So if anyone figures that out, let me know, because if I had like just even another 8 hours in the day, it would be perfect. Did you really? Oh, I'm not a monogamous. That's why I don't start a new one until I finish one. That's fair. Is that only for Heaven and Earth or for like any projects? Turtle Stitcher's working on Amy Stewart's Traveling Library. That one I really, really like. And yeah, it's that 25 count 1/1. That's what I think I need to do. I think when I first looked at Heaven and Earth, I was like intimidated. I think I started it before I tried like 40 count and higher count fabrics. So I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. But now that I've gone up to like 56 count, I'm like, oh, I can handle this. So yeah, I think I just need to restart it on a fabric that works better for a Heaven and Earth design. Turtle Stitchers finished Fortunate Traveler last year. That's one I would love to do. I've got 7 of them in progress, although I'm only stitching. I decided to pull back and 6 of them are kind of floating in an ether as UFOs right now. And I'm focusing on one. So Egyptian Sampler is the one I'm focusing on right now. So that one I want to get done this year. I've got all the framing done. So now I just need to plug everything in. We'll see. Oh, you've got about, 30 whips. That's not bad. And quilting, punch needle embroidery. Yeah, as I look here, the rest of my stuff is all paper based. So like pen pal writing and journaling and all that kind of stuff. And there's pens and markers everywhere. I would love to quilt. I just don't have a space where I could set up any sort of a quilting table right now. We'll see if and when we, move. Then hopefully I could have like a dedicated area, because I have a kick-ass table that my dad built for my mom that folds into like a little cabinet, but it stretches out and it's like 2 yards long with a tape measure glued on it, because my mom loves to sew and all that kind of stuff. And she didn't have room for it when she moved, and I wanted to keep it because I'm like, no, this thing's amazing. And if nothing else, it's like the go-to like wrapping presents table because it's at the perfect height. So I'm like, I need to keep this thing. Let's see. Oh, you okay, so any project. So you finish one, then you start a new one, but you keep a whole ton of stuff going. That's cool. Yeah, you're a magpie crafter. Yes, I resemble that remark. Yes. And hi, Liz. How you doing? You're cross-stitching today. Good to see you. I kind of miss that, we won't see each other at our stitching retreat. Stitcher's Hideaway is no more, sadly, in February. Sigh. Although I hadn't been for a couple of years, so good things have to end, I guess. But it feels weird knowing that, I'm not going to a retreat next year. How's my mom? My mom's doing great. She's plugging right along down in Florida, living her dream. And I haven't seen her now in, God, it's been a year, because normally we go down there for Christmas, and we didn't this year because she had the audacity to go on a cruise in the Caribbean for the holidays. And I was like, good for you, Mom. So yeah, I haven't seen her in a while, but I'm hoping to catch up with her in May, because it'll be her 80th birthday. So we shall see whether I see her up here or Florida, or meet her halfway and, visit like the rest of the family in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure yet. Turtle Stitcher, I just got back into cross stitching. I have uncountable whips in storage. My thought for this year is to try to stitch on, not finish 6 and 26. Not a bad goal. And I can, yeah, it's like they'll get done when they get done. You just need to make the progress, I mean, I've got stuff, most of mine, I've got a lot going on. I don't want to count how many whips I have, but it's up there. But as long as they get done, eventually, who cares? It's all about the journey, right? That table sounds awesome. It is. One of these, when the weather gets better, because it's out in our garage right now, I'll take a photograph of it. But yeah, my dad was, so my dad was a doctor by profession, but he loved to do woodworking as his hobby. He always loved to do things with his hands. So he would do woodworking, and he would build cabinets, and he would do all this kind of, refinish furniture and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's simple. It's not the most elegant looking thing, but it's so incredibly practical. I'm still shocked my mom didn't take it. I really am. So I was like, oh no, that's coming home with me, because it's just kind of this ingenious design. It's one of those things that if I had the business sense and the skill, it's one of those things you probably could make into like something to sell. It really is. It's just practical. Liz is saying that I need to go to the retreat in New Jersey. I know. Christine and I, my friend Christine that Liz knows, we've talked about it. And I think Christine was planning on going to at least one of those. If I remember right, it was the timing for me was kind of tricky. But one of these years, I'll get into it. One of these years. There was just something that I just couldn't make it work with my schedule, like last year and this year. So fingers crossed. I just saw my husband pop up. Choco Dean, no late stitching yet, but this afternoon I had fun making felt food for kids to play with, knitting and watercolor. Nice. Very nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. My son got a watercolor kit for Christmas this year that I'm hoping once the weather gets nicer where we can go to the park, he can bring it with him, and we'll bring the picnic blanket and I'll hang out and stitch and he can do some painting, because he's a crafty little kid, but much more in a drawing and painting way. I tried to get him into stitching and it just wasn't his thing. And my husband, everybody, he's about 15 feet from me around the corner. So I'll join him on the couch in a few minutes. So, all right, well, why don't we get started on our first 45 minutes, partially because my voice is about to go and I need to put a lot of fluid into it now, I think. So for those who haven't been here before, the way this is going to work is we're going to have 45-minute sprints. There will be a timer on the screen. There will be no noise. So if you're like listening to audiobooks or you're listening to the TV or, whatever you prefer to do to stitch, it's not going to interrupt that, because I totally respect that people have their rhythms when they want to stitch. So we'll have that timer be for 45 minutes and then I'll come back. We'll have a little chatty break, stretch, grab yourself another beverage, whatever you need to do. And then we'll do that. We'll repeat that 2 more times with 45-minute sprints. Then we'll come back, have another little chatty break, and then we'll just do a brief 15-minute sprint. So like if you're somebody who, like me, works off of ye old-fashioned paper charts, I'll put it up backwards so you can't see it, to highlight what you've done, make notes for your next session, if you choose to, or you can just stitch. And hi, Jenna. Jenna is part of the writing and reading book clubs that inspired this whole thing. So thank you, Jenna, for the inspiration. And if you'd like to, please, the more the merrier of people who want to stream. If you want some help learning how to do this, awesome. Because we need more cross stitchers to get involved in this. So we have a lot more crafty streams. Anyway, okay, so getting off track here. So we'll do the 45 minutes 3 times. And then after that, we'll have a 15-minute just kind of wind up break where make your notes, mark off what you've done. If you want to just keep stitching, awesome. Whatever you want to do. And if you're not cross stitching, that's okay. This is an equal opportunity sprint thing, so you can use it if you're crocheting, knitting, quilting, journaling, writing, reading, because there's a whole ton of people who do reading sprints. Everybody's welcome here. I set it up just as a cross stitch focus, mainly because there weren't any of those on YouTube, but it's for everybody. So if you want to, as Historically Dressed is saying, to do more housework, but this sounds more fun, so you'll stitch instead, that works too. But if you want to do it if you want to use it for, timing yourself and do like a 45-minute sprint of housework, so you're like, okay, I've been productive today, now I can slack off, go for it. I actually did that yesterday with a couple of the writing and reading sprints, and it made my life feel so much better to know that, okay, I did some stuff. Now I can go slack off and be lazy the rest of the day. So everything's welcome. All right, so I'm going to start the first sprint. I am going to be away from my computer during the sprints today so I can watch the Patriots game. Go Pats. But I have a timer on my phone to make sure I am back here and sitting down on time before they come back, before you guys all come back. So I will just reply back when I get here. We'll pause, but if you are, hanging out and keeping an eye on things and want to chat amongst yourselves, feel free. Just don't take it personally if I don't respond for the next 45 minutes. All right. Have a great time, and I'll see you in 45. Oops. I was going to correct something and clicked myself to come back a little early. Sorry. But in any case, keep stitching. You've got about a minute left. My bad. Hi. So hopefully that was a good sprint for you. So I originally, for next week, in case this happened again with the Pats game, I was just going to do the live stream at noon, but I'll see what people are thinking, if I should make it at noon on next Sunday so that you can see both of the games back to back if you watch football, or if you want me to live stream during the 3 p.m. game. I'm good either way, honestly, next week. So let me know what you think. But how'd you do during that sprint? I actually did pretty well. I had to finish marking what I did last night because I fell asleep stitching. So I did my marking so that I knew where I was. But I got a little more green done. And yeah, so with how this is going, I might actually have this square done during all the sprints today, which would be really, really nice, because it's just kind of like a little mini finish. So yeah. So still working on the heaven and earth. Liz is celebrating the Pats. Yes. Oh, did Peggy Boat come in briefly? No. Oh. Any case, yeah, I'm just kind of like out of it today. It's been a weird day. I went to bed normal time last night, like I don't know, like 11:30, but I slept until almost 10 o'clock this morning, which never happens. So I'm just completely discombobulated today. And then it's kind of raining, snowing at the same time outside right now. It hasn't decided what it's doing yet. So it's kind of a dreary, weird day here today. Just for perspective, who don't know where I am, I'm in Rhode Island. If you are happening to watch the Pats game, I am about like a 40-minute drive south of Gillette Stadium. So we're getting similar weather, but it looks like it's snowing more there and it's raining a little more here, because it's probably because I'm closer to the ocean. But we are supposed to get like 3 or 4 inches of snow tonight. So yeah. Liz is stitching away on the Primrose Cottage Free Friday chart. I saw that one. It's so cute. I have I do not need new starts, but of course I'm going to do new starts. I'm working, which one am I working by Primrose Cottage? I can't remember. I don't know. One of my plans tomorrow, since I have tomorrow off, is I haven't done a actual floss tube video blog in a long time. So I'm going to do my whip parade because I have the time to do it. I might have to break it into like a couple of parts. But I'm going to film a floss tube video tomorrow since I'm going to be home. And it's just going to be Max and I. So it's going to be nice and quiet. And I really don't have much on the books. Jenna suggests that maybe it is all the new moon energy. It might be. I am feeling a lot of let's go, and get a lot of like stuff going energy today. But yeah, that might be it. I don't know. That sounds like a journal entry I might have to do later. Liz is asking, you moved to Rhode Island. Were you in New Jersey? No, I actually never lived in New Jersey. Christine is from New Jersey originally, that you know. My mother was in Pennsylvania, in Eastern PA, in the Lehigh Valley area. That's where she was raised and lived for many, many years. But no, I'm a Montana girl, and I moved to Boston for college. And then when Eric and I bought our house, that's when we moved to Rhode Island. And now we're looking to move back to Mass sometime in the next few months to a year, because my husband's commute changed dramatically and is like intolerable now. He has to drive 5 days a week to north of Boston from Rhode Island, and it's rough enough for me to do the trip 2 days a week to Boston, but I can take a train and he can't. So yeah, we've lived in Rhode Island now for 20 years. I heard, are you kidding me? And Liz types interception at the same time. I'm like, okay, what am I missing in the other room? Yeah, I'll catch it later. But no, I never lived in Rhode Island, but I've been around there so much because, you know, with my mom being in Easton Allentown, Bethlehem area, you were in New Jersey half the time. And to get down there, I had to drive through Jersey. So I've been to enough places in Jersey over the years. You also might have gotten us mixed up on that because for a while we were doing a personal group retreat down to New Jersey. We would go down to the shop in McCutcheon before it closed. So, and we went there for like 3-4 years, I want to say, for a group retreat, just a group of friends, nothing formalized. So that might be why. Just catching up on Liz watching it. I know you do get Christine and I mixed up quite a bit, but no, she's the Jersey girl. I'm the Rocky Mountain girl. But I've now lived in New England for significantly more years than I lived out west. So I'm on year 33 here because I moved here in 93. So yeah, it's funny though. I still, even though I've lived here for so many years, it's kind of like I'm an adopted New Englander, but I'm not a New Englander. I don't know how that works, but you're never quite here, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of other places you can like move there and become one of them, but New Englanders, probably because I actually pronounce my R's. Yeah, there's still a streak of me that's Montana-ish. It shows up at work sometimes too. It's kind of funny. And my coworkers will be like, what word did you just say? And I'm like, sorry. One of the things, it's now a soda. I've gotten used to saying it's a soda, but it still comes out of a pop machine. And it will always come out of a pop machine. I can't change that. All right. Anyway, let's see. So it is now 4:13 here. I will, at 4:15, I will start the next sprint for us. And let's see here. Just double checking things. So we've got Heaven and Earth going. We've got Primrose going. I've got Hugs and Kisses going. We got a nice variety of stitches going on today. Has anyone seen anything that they really, really, really want to get started but can't fit in right now? I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Fox and Rabbit 2026. See how that one develops. There's the Soie d'Idée anniversary band sampler, which I'm keeping an eye on. I'm probably going to save those parts, but after doing my gigantic jade band sampler, I need a break from band samplers for a while. But I probably will keep that one saved to start somewhere down the line. But that one looks like it's really, really cute. I haven't seen anything else that's screaming at me though. I did like Modern Folks stitch along for the year, but I've got 2 of the Modern Folks going and they're both pretty big. So that one I was like, I can kind of hold off and wait on that one. Morning Glory, the flag. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's true. I've got a couple of those really, really pretty flag patterns that I've debated starting. I really like that one. Is that one, you know, the one that has like the kind of 8-pointed stars, and then just has all the names of the states written out within the bands of the flag. That's not primrose. That's yeah, that one has been on my, oh, I kind of want to do that one idea. Lola Crow is about to start a new Sal. I'm eyeing that one too, but I won't be starting it right away. That's one. Okay, yeah, One Nation. I do want to do One Nation eventually. That's been on my start list for a while. I may start that one. Maybe I may do that one. Like I might start it for Memorial Day, or maybe I'll do that President's Day weekend, and I'll just work on it on the national holidays this year, just for an idea. Lola Crow, I will definitely do their Sal eventually. I'm working on the Haunted Library right now, and I'm like 2 Sals behind. So I want to get one of those done before I start another one of hers. But I absolutely love her stitch alongs. Definitely some of the better ones that I've seen out there, and they're just really funny designs. The stars are tedious on One Nation. I can see that because there's a lot of them. I may have to do like a star and a state name and do like 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, just to kind of keep them moving. But yeah, I may kind of piggyback off of you. Maybe I'll get that started for President's Day weekend. I think I have all the stuff in my stash that I could do it. But yeah, I figure I have so many. They're all start alongs. They never wind up being stitch alongs. You start them and you have great energy, and then you start going, ooh, shiny, and you wander off and you do something else. I've also got a couple of workshops coming up this year with the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild that will be big projects. So one of them I just paid for April. And then the next one isn't until the fall, so I've got a little bit of time. Now, what? Oh, because it's 4/17? Yeah, I should probably get another sprint going, shouldn't I? Chatty. All right, so let's get the next sprint going. It'll be another 45. So what? I'm reading Liz's no come on the screen. What's up? What did I do? Oh, starting it? No starts till I fit. Yeah. If I do that, then it's going to be like 2030. I wouldn't be able to have another start for ages. There's so many things I need to finish. Yeah. No. But I'll finish. Okay. I'll finish something and then I'll start it, Liz. I promise. So that'll kick my butt to get something finished this spring. Okay? And then I will start it. And I'll start it here on one of the lives to prove to you that I actually finished something. I'll put the little halo over my head. Okay. So let's get started on the next countdown. 45 minutes. And again, like before, because I am watching the Pats game, I'll be away from my computer for the time. But I have a personal timer. I'm sitting down about 2 minutes before the countdown. This time I will not screw it up on myself and end it early. So yeah, we'll go from there. All right. I will see you guys in another 45. Happy stitching. Hello. I swear, 45 minutes sometimes goes by way too fast. How did that one go for everybody? I did not get quite as much done on mine. I was feeling kind of hungry, so I kind of chilled and had something to eat, and I got a few stitches in, but mostly was nibbling and chatting with Eric and watching the Patriots do a surprising number of turnovers. But yeah, the game's going well. Yay! It's been kind of a fun thing to watch, and hanging out with Eric and our friend Matt in the living room and just kind of chilling is nice. My husband and Matt went up to New Hampshire to hang out with the guys for a good portion of the weekend, so I really haven't seen my husband since Thursday. So kind of just catching up with him is a good thing. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't get a lot done that last sprint. I'm still working on the same square, but it's coming along. If I actually focus on it this next sprint, I know I'll get everything left done on that one probably by the end of tonight. So fingers crossed. Let me get into comments here. So we left off, Liz was telling me that no starts until I finish a project. And so, yes, I will finish a project and then I will start One Nation. That's fine. That's a fair go. And that will kick my butt into getting something done today. I stand corrected. But I will get it kitted up because I need to make sure that I even have a piece of fabric that's big enough for that one, because I know that's a big girl. And then Liz asked if this was on YouTube, and the answer is yes. Actually, yes, it is. So I am using a streaming service called Restream, which you can see there we go, that logo for right there. It's a one of two streaming services that I'll be trying out. The other one is called StreamYard, which a lot of other streamers use, and I'll probably be doing the next one through StreamYard just to see if I like their format better. Be playing around with it and learning different things. But yeah, so this is a third-party website that you can use for streaming and setting up everything, which is kind of awesome. And then with their freebie version, I can set it to go to YouTube and to any other single website. So I have it going to my Facebook. If I worked on the paid one, I would probably also link it to my blog as a third one, but just on the two is fine. I don't need to go too crazy here. So yes, that's why you see some people with Facebook logos and then other people that don't have Facebook logos, because they're replying to things on YouTube. And that's partially why I have all of the text running down the right-hand side. So yes, it is on both Facebook and YouTube. Hello, Judy. I see that Judy came in. Judy's another one of my more local stitchers. I don't know what I'm doing. Please tell me if you see this, watching the game and stitching on the Smith sampler. Nice. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Just stitch. Seriously. All this is for is to give everybody an excuse to sit down and stitch, do a little bit of chatting, but you're stitching in your own space. You don't have to be on camera. I'll be on camera for a little bit. But this isn't like getting together on, a live meeting like so many of us have to do all during the week. It really is just, okay, we're going to set aside this time every week and just stitch. And we'll do it in little bursts. And then if you want to, or if you want to use it for something else, that's cool too. But just to set aside time, because that is one of my goals for the year, is to make the time for the things that I want to do. And while, yes, this is on the internet, it's making time for things that don't otherwise involve the internet, because I doom scroll way too much and I need to get off of my doom scrolling. So more stitching time, more journaling time, more creative writing time, because I'm attempting to start to write a novel this year. That kind of stuff. So These sprints are purely just for you to be able to chill, hang out, give yourself the time to do whatever is speaking to you during the day, and have a few breaks scheduled in so that they're actually timed along the way. It's something called the Pomodoro method, which usually goes with like a 25-minute and 5-minute break. But I always find that 25 is a little too short for things that don't involve housework that I don't want to do. So yeah, so that's why we're doing 45s. I would have done an hour so that people could watch like a TV show and then come back. But the free version of Restream only allows a 45-minute timer. But as I get more comfortable with streaming, I'll probably play around with doing some sort of a timer outside of the confines of this software and try some other things, because I have some other methods to do timers. So let's see. Liz is almost done with her project, which is awesome. Susan got 8 rows in on a cat border. These sprints have been helpful today. Good. I'm glad. That's the whole point, just to be helpful, and use them as you want. And they are being recorded and they're being saved. So if you just want a timer, you can always come back and rewatch these ones, or seriously go onto YouTube and type in productivity sprints, reading sprints, writing sprints. There's a whole community on YouTube outside of the FlossTube group that do these kind of sprints. That's where I got this inspiration from. And they'll do ones that are 20 minutes long. Some of them, for the reading ones, will do like an hour and a half. So you'll find groups that will work for you, and they're welcoming of everybody. It really is a cool community online. Okay, so Liz is done with hers. J. Drew is wrapping up today's stitching on her Haid, and she's switching to Legendary Creatures Alphabet and Old Clouds Factory Sal. I remember that one. That's a fun one. And she took a break to switch over the laundry and to make a cup of tea. Nice. Yeah, I am finishing up my cup of coffee, and I will probably switch to tea then too. Probably I've got some of my winter mint from Republic of Tea that I think I'll probably switch to for the evening, because I'm kind of in a minty mood, but I'm usually in a minty mood. And it is kind of a good tea night. It's kind of chilly and kind of cozy, and I just want to be like wrapped up on the couch underneath a blankie. I've got a cat over there who's already curled up over there, and he was very annoyed with me that I got up to move back to my office. So just while we're on this one, and I kind of mentioned this during the last break, I had already planned I was going to be doing a live stream next Sunday. 3 to 6 is my standard time to do a sprint, because it's a time that generally will work for me. It's just, I think with football playoffs, it's a little weird because of the time of the games, and I just didn't think about it. So before I started today, I decided I was going to change everything to a noon start next Sunday. But with how this is working, I think I'll just go with the regular time. So when we get to the very final wrap up, there's going to be, where you see my name down there in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to say that it's starting at noon next week. It's not. We'll just start at 3 at normal time. There's no, even if it is the Pats playing, this isn't a big deal for me to just go and bounce back and forth between the living room and here. I was worried it was going to be a bigger deal than it is, but it really isn't. So regular time next week. And I don't think, let me just double check on my calendar, but I think for the foreseeable future, I will probably be here every Sunday from 3 to 6. Let me just skim here. Yeah, the only Sunday I think that might be an issue would be coming up like at the end of March. And even that, I don't know if that's going to happen. We go to a geeky retreat up in Boston called PAX East. And this year it's the last week of March, but I don't know if we're going to be able to afford it. So, excuse me. So I might just be home. So yes, I will be doing these every Sunday from 3 to 6, and including I will do Super Bowl Sunday weekend, because for us the game then starts, like 6:30 or whatever it is. And we'll just come and hang out. So you can put it on your calendars if you want. If in the event that there is something that's going to be happening, I will let folks know both on YouTube and on my Facebook. But assume going forward that I will be here every Sunday unless I mention to you the week before. Okay, back to comments. So Legendary Creatures Alphabet, and she took a break to switch the laundry over, make a cup of tea. It's freezing in Louisiana. That's not normal. I need all the warmth I can get. I hear you. I never used to be affected by the cold until I reached that certain age. And then all of a sudden the Raynaud's syndrome kicked in with me. And now it's like I need my space heater on like constantly. It's ridiculous how cold I get. I never used to be this way. But now I'm like always freezing. It annoys the heck out of me, and I'm a northern girl. I should be just fine with this, but no. It is literally freezing right now. It is exactly 32 degrees here in Providence, and it says light rain and snow. I think it's still more rain because not much is sticking out there. But we're supposed to get like 3 to 5 inches before tomorrow morning of snow. My son is already jonesing to go sledding tomorrow since he has a day off school. So I have a feeling I'll be hanging out in the car as he goes sledding down the hill for a little while. Unless I just go, no, just go by yourself. He's old enough. Excuse me, go to the park by yourself. Liz, this is my normal football game routine. It used to be mine too. I would just hang out and stitch during the games. We don't have cable anymore. So we haven't been as good watching the games this year as we used to be. I had to figure out where the heck we were going to watch it today, but I would listen to them on the radio, So this is like one of the few Pats games I've seen this year, but I also didn't think that they were going to be good this year. I was accepting that we're probably going to have an entire generation of suckage after the generation of amazing. And Liz says, I stitch while hubby watches a game, then the second game I go into another room. Can only watch one game at a time. We only generally have watched the Pats games. Every once in a while, we would watch something else if we knew it was like one of those matchups that had to be seen. When my dad was still with us, every once in a while I would catch an Eagles game, so I could talk to him about it because my dad was a diehard Eagles fan. I have many stories that I've told on my blog about my dad screaming at the TV at the Eagles from 2,000 miles away, thinking that they could hear him over the noise of the vet, let alone the confounds of technology in the 1980s. But yeah, I remember Eagles energy in my house growing up. My dad is a born and raised Southeast Pennsylvania boy. So yeah, but this always was my Sunday afternoon too. Going back to when I was a teenager. My dad would be watching TV and I would be hanging out, either writing letters to pen pals or I'd be stitching or whatever. So this is Sunday afternoon for me, which is why a 3 to 6 p.m. live stream seemed like the perfect time. And by that time, people, who are religious are out of church for the day and you're kind of getting into the rest of your stuff. And so hopefully it works out for a lot of people. That said, I probably will occasionally do pop-ups at other times that work. Although really my other focus is going to be just to try to get some more floss tube videos recorded too, because I just fell off last year with the craziness at work. So this is all part of the making time for things that matter to me. And floss tube definitely does, because it gives me energy to do stuff too. All right. So since we've been chatting for a bit, let's get in on the third sprint. This will be the final 45-minute sprint. And then what will happen is we'll come back, we'll chat briefly, and then we'll just do a wrap-up sprint to take your notes, highlight what you've done, whatever you need to do just to kind of get yourself tidied up. So if you do have to leave early for whatever reason, thank you for coming to Stitch today. I love seeing everybody here, and it definitely makes it a lot more fun, because this, unlike floss tube, is kind of weird because you do feel like you're talking to a void. I don't feel that way when I make a floss tube, but I think knowing that I'm live on screen, or actually about like a 10-second delay from when I'm talking and you actually see it, it's kind of weird, but maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. All right. Anyway, I will set us up for our final 45-minute. So happy stitching, everybody. And like the other two, I'm going to go into the other room, so I won't see the text messages until I come back. But I do have a timer that I'm setting for myself for about 2 minutes before it gets off the timer that you're seeing on the screen. So happy stitching, everybody, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Hello. That 45 went really, really fast for me, but it was good. And I'm watching the snow get heavier and heavier during the game, and I keep looking outside. I'm like, it's picking up out here too. The more snow, the better. I'm like, just bring it. I want all the snow at Patriots games. It's like, they're the best games. Anyway, and I'm happy because it looks like the Pats are going to pull this one off, which if you're not a Pats fan, I'm sorry. But yay. Anyway, so how'd you do? I did really, really well. I have almost finished that square. I just have about 20 stitches or so in the dark red to pink, red, take your pick what color it is, to put in the center there to wrap that one up. So during our next sprint, the wrap-up sprint, I am going to take care of that before I do all of my marking of my paper chart to indicate what I've done, because I'm old school and I still stitch off of paper charts. I have not been able, I know for Heaven and Earth designs that getting used to Pattern Keeper would be ideal, because I think for those full coverage pieces, Pattern Keeper looks like it is the thing, and would make life so much easier. But I am still, to this day, I am a paper chart person. It's how I learned, and I just like to be able to get offline and just go wherever with my pattern and just stitch that way. So I am a paper and highlighter person. But yeah, it'll be nice to have that done tonight. That'll be a good spot for me to finish. So very, 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 very happy. I mostly prepped dinner that sprint, but it's in the oven. I'm ready to stitch on my V creature. Nice. So you've made good progress on this if you're all the way down to V, or have you been bouncing? We're getting dinner too. We're having leftover chili that I made earlier this week, which didn't come out my preferred way. I figured out that I had the wrong cumin. I had the black cumin, and it's a little more bitter than the regular cumin. So not my ideal recipe, but it's edible. It's fine. It just has a very strong taste to it. But we're going to do that with just, rolls and have a nice cozy dinner tonight. You're a paper person too. Yeah, I think it seems like when I go to retreats, there definitely is a larger group that now is stitching like off of iPads and other type of tablets. But I want to say it still seems like it's about 70-30, maybe. I mean, I have plenty of digital charts, but when I'm actually working on them, I need to print them off. I just prefer the paper. I don't know what it is. If it's something super, super small, I could stitch it off of my screen, but I spend so much time on screens. I don't want them open all the time. I need time removed away from them for a little bit. Susan said she has 1 row to go for Cat 5 border. She'll finish it tonight and start on the cat. Nice. Progress is good. And she says she's also a paper chart and highlighter stitcher. I don't use computer charts at all. I also stitch in hand. I cannot do that. I would love to be able to do that. But the way I hold things, it just gives me a hand cramp. So I am lately, I've kind of bounced back and forth over the years with what I use to stitch. I started like everybody else with the infamous hoop of either metal or balsa wood, whatever my mother had at the time that was available. I had one of those metal spring hoops for a while, and then the cheapo balsa wood or whatever the heck they are that you could get at Michael's and all of the big box stores. Switched to Q snaps for quite a while, but I found over the last few years the Q snaps are just starting to get a little too heavy for me. So my friend Amy, who's Gable's Stitcher here on YouTube, recommended the Nurge hoops, especially the square ones. So that's what I'm using. This one's an 8-inch And I have them in a couple other sizes. Their wood hoops are also really, really nice. I love their super thick ones. I just find them easy to hold. But also when I'm using my flower stand, which is still sitting over here from working on water garden, those larger hoops grip into it really, really nicely. So yeah, whenever I'm wandering around without my big stitching, my Lowry frame, I'm usually using one of these square Nourish hoops these days. But I've got a pile of different style of clamps and hoops and whatever, project to project. But I would love to be able to stitch in hand. I just get too crampy. So, and again, I think a lot of it's how you learn and then just what you find is comfy. Drew is stitching the letters in order, so you're plugging along. Very nice. Yep. And you'll get down to like Y, and Y will take you forever because you're like, I have one left. I always, when I get to the alphabet, I'm just like, I only have 2 more letters left, and then I'll be done. Yeah, that was me on Jade Band Sampler. And she says she doesn't have a tablet, so I'd have to use my laptop to stitch digitally. That's my screen to watch floss tube, so no thank you. Same. I have a very old iPad that I have inherited by way of my son, by way of my husband, by way of a friend. I think it's like a Generation 2 iPad, which of course can't even use Pattern Keeper. But yeah, I don't have a tablet either. I'm either on, right now I'm on my desktop computer, which got set up with 2 screens during COVID so that I could work from home. So I'm all techie here with like about, 50 inches of monitor in front of me. It's kind of funny. But yeah, if I'm not here, I have my work laptop, but otherwise it's my cell phone, and that's too small. My eyes are not that young anymore. So nope. Liz would joke at me because she used to ask me how the heck I could see everything I was stitching on. Well, because I used to be able to stitch on like my 56 count without cheaters on. And that changed about 2 years ago. It literally overnight went from me being able to see it fine to, whoa, okay. So I do now read. I have to read, I have to stitch, and I've got my reading glasses on. Oddly, not on my computer. I still see my computer screens better without. But anything else up close that's really detail, nope. I got to have glasses on now. So yeah, the readers I'm wearing today, aren't they fashionable? But yeah, dollar store readers, best ones to go to. All right, so it is now time for us to do the wrap-up sprint, which is going to be a 15-minute. You can stitch if you're on a roll. If you are kind of starting to wrap up and you just want to mark off where you were, and make your notes for next time you stitch, whatever you'd like to do. Definitely take this time just to kind of shuffle things around and, get yourself situated to move on with your evening. If you are taking off, thank you again for joining me on this. I really appreciate people, popping on, saying hi, letting me know if it is or isn't helping. And the nice thing, I'm hearing that it seems that you're making progress on things tonight, which is awesome. And so am I, and that's the whole point of this. When we come back after this, as I mentioned before, the last sprint, there's going to be a note down on the bottom left that says that the next sprint is going to be next Sunday at noon. That is not when it's going to be. I'm going to do it normal time at 3 o'clock. So, but I don't want to mess with it right now because of the way my screen is set up for it. So I'll do it while we're on there, and I'll change it live. But we will be getting together again. I will go live next Sunday, 3 o'clock, same time, same place. Hope that you'll join me. And why don't we wrap up and get our wrap-up sprint going? So 15 minutes, and we'll be right back. All right. See you in 15. Hello. Okay. So since I am here, let me change that caption because we're going to put this back to 3 p.m. Eastern to next week, even though there will be a Pats game. There we go. Much better. So yeah, we will do normal time next week. And yeah, three hours, the same as we did this week. Thank you again for those who joined us. Hello, Paula. Thank you for hugging the like button. I appreciate it. And yes, get some good sleep because it is very, very, very late for you. But yes, I will be here next week. And until then, have a great night, everybody. And I will see you with more Stitchy Madness. I will be putting up a floss tube later this week with my first whip parade of the year and show you where I am on the disaster because there's a lot of projects and it's going to take me a little bit. But until then, have a great night, everybody. Take care. Happy stitching and have a good week.